there folks, what's up witches? It's Vervain, and today we're going to talk about charging this here crystal grid. If you haven't seen part 1 of this, do go check out part 1. In that one you can see all about why we picked the crystals that we picked. So this is the grid that we built last night. I added one thing to it since then. I added these gold earrings, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. So we have the citrine at the center, the malachite on top, dragon's blood, jasper, and garnet around there, 13 rainbow moonstones, and then we have this outer ring formed from citrine, peridot, and pyrite. Whoops. And then this outer border that is fortified with peridot and these pieces of gold. So I want to talk a little bit about how I charge crystal grids in general, and then specifically what I'm going to do to charge this one. So I've made some changes to my general magical practice and crystal gridding process in the last year or so, last couple months especially, and I want to talk about a little bit about that because I've found that my crystal grids and my magic in general have been a lot more successful, a lot more effective since I made these changes. The primary change that I feel like goes without saying, but it somehow always needs to be said, is I've just gotten a lot better at acting in accord. I really leveled up in my commitment to my goals and my ability to say, this is what I'm doing and I'm gonna do it, rather than just saying this is what I want and I'm gonna do a spell and prayer and like wish for it to happen and then wait. I no longer wait for my magic to happen for me. I do the spell to empower myself to go out and make it happen. So acting in accord, actually going out and doing the things that my magic is for. I'm not gonna do the spell for confidence and then hide out in my room. I'm gonna do the spell for confidence and then I'm gonna hit the live button, or I'm gonna go and talk to the person, or I'm gonna go and apply for the job, or I'm gonna go and do the show, play the live music, you know? Whatever it is that I needed the confidence for, I'm gonna go out and do it, and I'm gonna support myself in other ways, and I'm probably gonna put some valor on, and I'm gonna go out and take what's mine, and I'm gonna go out and do what I'm meant to do. So number 1 tip for making magic work is work for the magic. Do the magic, then do the thing. Don't do the magic and then wait for the thing. Do the magic, then do the thing that the magic's for. The magic will support you in doing it. The magic will support the universe in helping things happen for you, with you, but magic helps those who help themselves. So go out and help yourself to what it is that you're manifesting. Tip number 2, use the different elements of the natural world together. And my favorite tip for this, specific to crystal gridding, is to use oils in your grid. And this is an amazing, brings my whole crystal gridding process to a whole nother level that I didn't even know existed until a few months ago. And this will actually work for individual crystals as well. You can use oils to charge individual crystals with intention and magic and power, and then you can do that within a grid, and that's a really beautiful thing. I like to put my grids on an absorbent surface so that I can prime the grid. I've been using, for this one, I used this magic spray. I'm gonna spray me with it now. And this is 10 drops of frankincense and 10 drops of envision. So then I used this spray again to just kind of kick off the charging process, get it started, get everything, a little bit of magic going. And then I really like to anoint each crystal in the grid with an oil particular to the intention of the crystal in the grid. And this is literally my favorite part of charging crystals, because it's like, if you're sensitive to energy, it's like you can watch and feel the crystals come alive. Like, you can already feel their chi just as crystals. You put the oil on and it's a whole different ball game. The other thing is, we were talking yesterday about in part 1, we're pulling cards from the Illustrated Crystallary, and on the bottom of the deck was the Peridot card. I had already been feeling called to put Peridot in the grid. So before we started this video, I took a moment to look through the book and see what it talks about. And you can pause this if you really want to read this page, but I'm going to go ahead to the next page, which is what really spoke to me. Connect with the medicine around you. Peridot connects you with the medicine kingdoms, animal, vegetable, and mineral. Carrying Peridot in your pocket or your heart, take yourself on an adventure into the realms of nature. Perhaps you live near a vast wild expanse and can romp in the woods or waters. Or maybe you're in a city where you need to hone your awareness of the microcosmic world. Remember, even a small planter can host an abundance of life. And that was one of my favorite things to read, because that is so much what these oils are for me. And again, like, the purpose of this grid comes back to the oils and comes back to holding the space for community around this plant magic. And oh, it's such a beautiful thing. But you know, where it says here, maybe you're in a city where you need to hone your awareness of the microcosmic world. Remember, even a small planter can host an abundance of life. Remember, even a small bottle can host an abundance of life, an abundance of plant magic. When I have this, I carry this in my purse, and when I open it up, I smell it, and it feels like I'm in the forest. It feels like I'm in the woods, and it's such a beautiful feeling to be able, wherever I am in the city, in a building, in an office building, at work, at a Starbucks, wherever I am, I can open this and feel that I am in the midst of an expansive magical forest, breathing the open forest air, sheltered by the forest canopy, and it's a beautiful, beautiful feeling, and I am so grateful for these bottles of plant magic and what they bring me. Focus on being with rather than simply moving through this landscape. Use your powers of observation to glean nature's messages. Watch for the slow breath of trees. Listen for the scurry of squirrels. Roll stones in your hand, feeling their knowledge of the ages of the earth. Allow Peridot to help you feel oneness with the natural world. Guys, that is so much of what this grid is about connecting with the medicine around you in the form of plant magic and in the form of people, in the form of community. So what this grid is for in a specific sense, for me, when I'm tuning into this grid, what I'm tuning into is the intention to welcome 20 witches this October into Oil Coven, into this beautiful community of magical people who are tapping deeper into their own selves, stepping into their true selves, their highest potential, walking the path of wealth and wellness, creating their own abundance, manifesting the reality that they want and that they deserve, and doing that in community with other people who are doing the same thing. So if you are ready to do this, if you are ready to step fully into your true self and do the inner work that's required to make your magic work for you, and to do the work behind the magic to help yourself so that magic can help you, and to step into relationship with plant magic, and to step into relationship with other witches, with other magical people in community, and you're ready to create magic together, and you're ready to participate in a shared vision of truth and love and magic and beauty and wealth and wellness for all of us, for anybody who is ready to step into it, to tap into it, to draw this magic down. That's what I'm holding space for. And specifically for 20 people this October to begin taking this journey with me. That's the kind of connection that I'm trying to create. And I'm creating and holding space for that connection through the vehicle of this plant magic, through the vehicle of these bottles of plant magic. And I'll talk more about how you can get in on that in a second, but I want to come back to the crystal grid real quick. So the first oil that I used to anoint stones in this grid was frankincense. This is just the vitality bottle, which means you can ingest it, but we're just putting this on crystals. It doesn't matter if you use frankincense vitality or regular frankincense. Also, like if you just had the starter kit, regular frankincense does come in the starter kit, and you could absolutely anoint every single stone in this grid with frankincense and maybe some lavender on the moonstones and be good to go. It's very much an all-purpose magic oil. I just have a lot of other oils that I want to draw from that I think are really specific to the intentions that I'm manifesting with this grid, so I'm going to use a bunch of different ones. But frankincense is also really connected to my specific relationship with Freya, and Freya is the catalyst behind why I decided to even do this business in the first place. So I'm very much calling on her support with this grid and with this project to manifest 20 witches onto my team this month. So very much want to include frankincense, and I'm going to use frankincense first to anoint the citrine. And then I'm also going to use frankincense on these pieces of gold that I'll talk about in a moment. And you can actually drop drops of the oil onto the stones, or you can use your finger to pick up just a little bit and anoint the crystals, just depending on the size of the stone and how generous I'm feeling, and whether or not I want to touch the oil affects my decision. And so we have this citrine for abundance and good vibes, positivity, It's very much a manifestation stone and very much an abundance stone, and this is very much an abundance grid because the purpose here is for community abundance. Freya's message to me was one of wealth and wellness, and I'll share that full story soon in a separate video. But for now, we'll just stick with that. Time is a card that we drew from the Illustrated Herbiary the other day, and it talked all about distilling yourself and coming back to your true self and your true path and distilling your true calling from your fears and doubts and getting rid of the thoughts that are not really yours and distilling down to the thoughts that really are your truest, highest self. So I'm going to use this time on this malachite, this cauldron of transformation, and we just put that in there. And then we have dragon's blood, jasper, and garnet, and these are very much for being fully invested with your full self down to your blood in the work of breaking down your limited beliefs, breaking down your generational trauma, the beliefs that have been handed down to you, that we talked about yesterday, if you want to go back to when we were talking about the garnet in yesterday's video. But very much doing that inner work and being fully invested. And for me, that means showing up every single day, not just to do the work, but to show you how this is transforming me, and not just to show you the magic and the transformation, but to actually do the difficult inner work of self-transformation, which is difficult inner work. Don't let anyone tell you it's not. It is. But it's made easier with magic, I believe, and with a commitment to faith in positive outcomes, which is part of magic. So that said, I wanted to put highest potential on the garnets and the dragon's blood jaspers. So that's what we're going to do. This is one of my favorite oils. I'm probably going to be slathering this all over myself this month. And we're just going to be dabbing that on there. Then we have Envision, which is one of my favorite magic oils for holding a vision and seeing it through, and I'm going to put this on all of the moonstones. This grid is in harmony with the moon cycle. We're starting on the full moon. We're starting on October 1st and ending on October 31st. I'll probably take this grid apart on November 1st, and this is going to carry me through the month. I'm welcoming 20 people into Oil Coven this month in 31 days. And that's the vision that I'm holding, and Envision is helping me hold that in the moonstone. And we have one moon cycle basically from full moon to full moon to carry that through and bring that through. So that's that. We've already anointed these citrines with the frankincense. I'm gonna do the pyrites with abundance. Abundance is one of my favorite oils for magic, of course, and then also I've been wearing this in my hair. I mean, both as a magical thing. You can always think of the magical intention. I'm always manifesting abundance. That's not something I ever stop doing. But I love wearing this in my hair with jojoba oil, and I love diffusing this. It's especially good in autumn. It's really very much like an autumn spice blend. Ugh, it smells great. And pyrite loves abundance. So I'm just gonna drop a full drop of abundance on each of these pyrites. We might get some extra, and that's okay. And then we have Egyptian gold. This is a great diffuser blend, but I'm also going to use this to anoint the paradots. This is a blend of all of the oils that were most sacred in ancient Egypt. And I just think it's a really great magic oil, a really great abundance oil, a really great manifestation oil. So we're just gonna tap that on there, get that in a few places. Okay, and this again has Envision and frankincense in it, which is a good multi-purpose magic spray. You could use this for all number of things, honestly. Finally, I'm going to come back to the frankincense to anoint this gold, and I want to tell you a little bit about that actually before we do it. So you can go ahead and pause and read this page if you want, but the part that I really want to bring you to is this. Tradition has it that Peridot wants to be set in gold, and that when she is, her power is amplified. So this whole grid is about this kind of connection between people, bringing people together over the spirit of plant magic to heal and strengthen and empower themselves with plant magic and with the support of each other, with the support of the natural world. and make magic happen. And if the magic of Peridot is amplified by gold, and also gold is sacred to Freya, who is, I feel strongly, is blessing this grid. She is working with me on this goal, and she's working with me in this business. That is my firm belief. And also, it's worth noting that on the stream yesterday, Abigail said in the comments, she said, I keep thinking for some reason that you're going to put gold in the grid for Freya. And I was like, oh man, but I don't have any gold. Well, plot twist, I found some gold. So I have these gold seashell earrings from my grandmother, which is actually so perfect because seashells, I feel like, are also very much tied to Freya. They're very divine feminine, as you know, I'm sure. And these are, of course, gold. And then we have these gold aspen leaves, and these are aspen leaf skeletons that have been encased in gold. And aspen is sacred to, is I associate it at least with Odin. It's a tree of the wind. The quaking aspen is named for the way the wind moves through it. So to have these gold icons of the divine feminine, the divine masculine, both deities of magic, both deities I work with closely, kind of guarding this outer circle around this grid, I thought was just such a beautiful final addition to this grid. So we're going to finish by anointing those with some frankincense. So just to come back to center before we do the final stage of charging this grid and lighting it and awakening it fully to its intention, I want to come back to what that intention is. The purpose of this grid, the purpose of this work, the purpose of this magic is specifically to bring 20 new witches to this path, to this space, to this working, to this Oil Coven, to this community of witches who are working together to step deeper into their true selves, to step into their highest potential, to awaken to their abundance, to claim their power, to make their magic, to make their mess their magic. And to do this by connecting with the plant magic that is stored in these little bottles. The smell of thyme is so strong on this grid, and it's so beautiful, and it's so fresh and green and awake and alive and pure and clean and true. It's like I can feel it distilling myself down, purer, truer, cleaner, like Golveg purified by the fire. Golveg is the goddess of gold, who they tried to destroy her with fire, but she could not be destroyed because she was gold. So instead she was purified and strengthened by the fire. And that is what we're here to be. We all have hearts of gold. I really believe that. And gold can't tarnish, it can, unless it's impure. So you can allow yourself to be contaminated with outside energies, with outside forces that would bring you down, or you can invite yourself, allow yourself to be strengthened and purified by the fire. When the fire comes for you, it will not burn away the gold. It will burn away all that is not gold. So we are here with the fire of citrine, the fire of transformation, beneath the bubbling cauldron of transformation. Malachite, that's us, the transformed. The process of transformation will claim us and purify us through the fire. And what that looks like in real time is doing hard, deep work, breaking generational trauma, breaking limited beliefs, going beyond limited beliefs, hearing the voice that says, I don't want to do that because I'm afraid I might fail, and saying, you are not for me. I am okay with failing. I am not okay with not trying. Doing that deep work, and that's why we have the garnet. And we have the dragon's blood jasper, both for grounding ourselves into our intention and into our bodies, and for strengthening and empowering that deep work, and also because dragons hoard gold. And we are seeking after that gold to purify within ourselves the gold in our hearts, to be strengthened by the fire of the challenges we walk through. We can allow challenges like those brought by 2020 to bring us down and to contaminate our hearts of gold, or we can allow those challenges, that dumpster fire, We can allow that dumpster fire of 2020 to be the fire of transformation that strengthens and purifies us and invites us to level up into a new level of our highest selves. We're here to tune into our natural cycles, the cycle of the moon, the cycles of our body, the cycles of our energy, and to work with those to manifest our highest good. We're here, like Peridot, to connect with nature, to connect with plants, to connect with each other, to hold shared visions in community. I am here to share my vision with you so that you can help me hold that vision, and I want to hear your visions so that I can help you hold your visions, and I want to help figure out what is in common between your vision and my vision. What do those visions share? What is the shared collective vision that both of those visions are a part of? What is the shared collective vision that we can hold together, that we can manifest together? I gotta tell you something, guys. I held the vision to welcome 5 people onto my team last month, and I had major trouble doing it. And I still needed 3 more people to say yes to Plant Magic, to say yes to this journey. With 3 days left in the month, I still needed 3 people. And I spoke to one of my witch sisters, and I said, help me hold this vision. 3 more people say yes. The Arya comes back. I posted about this. You can read about the post. I spoke my vision to her, exactly what I needed to complete my goal. Within an hour, I found out that the Arya was coming back, which was one piece of the puzzle that I needed to make at least one. Turns out 2 of those members be ready to say yes right then. I shared that vision with another witch sister. I put that vision into the collective consciousness, and together we held that vision, and it happened. Together we held that vision and made it happen. And I am ready to hold visions with you. I want us to hold visions together, and I want to see what magic we can make happen together. And the doorway to fairyland, the gateway, the invitation to this relationship, this community, is this plant magic. And what a beautiful key, because when you say yes to rising higher and being purified by the fire, and the way that you say yes to that is by saying yes to plant magic, you gift yourself 12 keys to magic, 12 keys to awakening your highest self, 12 keys to your personal wellness, 12 keys to your social, emotional, spiritual, mental, physical wealth and wellness, 12 keys to your own magic. And that's what's in these little bottles. And so the reason that this doorway to this community is unlocked by these oils is because once you have these oils, you have 12 tools to help you awaken your highest good. 12 bottles of plant magic that will help you be able to do the magic that we're all doing together, that will help you awaken the potential within you. I really believe that. The plant magic in the starter kit, including the Ningxia, are things that I use every single day to support me in reaching my highest potential in my physical wellness, my mental wellness, my emotional wellness, in my personal power. The second reason that these oils are the key to the door into this community is because it shows an investment. It shows that you're ready to make a energetic investment in the form of $165 or whatever the cost of the starter kit you choose is. It shows that it is worth at least that much to you to begin this journey, to make this journey, and that you are that much invested in making this journey, which means that you are that much invested in showing up to do the work. And when you are invested in showing up to do the work, you have that much higher chance of success. If and when you say yes to taking this journey with me and to stepping into the space that I'm holding with Oil Coven, Oil Coven is an extension of the Moon Babes, which is an extension of Enchanted Seer, which is an extension of Iris Nabala's Oil Method space. So you're also saying yes to all of these larger communities of magic makers, of which Oil Coven is a part. So you're stepping not just into the small but growing witchy community of Oil Coven, but you're also stepping into the Moon Babes. You're also stepping into the Enchanted Seer Oil community. You're also stepping into Iris's Oil Method workspace. And these are all spaces held by beautiful magical manifestors people who understand what it means to show up in gratitude and do the real work to manifest the real goods. We're working on there being an Oil Coven online space on Facebook to go with these other spaces, probably looking at early to mid 2021 for that being an actual physical separate space on Facebook, but absolutely we all connect with each other in the other spaces and on Instagram, so that's always something that's open to you. I cannot wait to hold that space for you. When you say yes to that, you get not only the actual oils, the actual starter kit and diffuser, everything that comes in that starter kit, you also, and of course the invitation to those community spaces, you also get a special welcome gift from me, which look to my stories or message me to see what there is currently being offered. I'm planning some very magical things this month to welcome 20 very magical people, maybe even hopefully you. That would be so cool to have you on the team. I would really love that, but more about that later. So I want to step into some energy work now and use my hands to expand the energy of this grid, and then we'll sing to it a little bit. I'm standing